Hi, I'm Shaun Levin. I'm a writer, an artist, an editor, and a creative writing teacher. What I want to do today is to show you 3 things you can do when faced with a blank page. These are some of the exercises I do whenever I sit down to write. So often what happens when I sit down to write is this is what I'm faced with, the blank page or 2 blank pages. And sometimes I'll know what I want to work on if I'm working on a short story. Sometimes I won't know what's happening. And one exercise that I find useful just to warm myself up and just to get the pen moving is to talk to the page. Just tell the page what I think about the page, have a little conversation with the page and see what comes up. Usually I'd write for about 15-20 minutes, but just to give you a little demonstration, I'll go for 5 minutes. If you want to write with me, get a pen and paper and we'll write for 5 minutes. So that was just 5 minutes of just getting the pen moving. And often the main thing to do is just to get the pen moving, to give yourself license to write whatever you want to write. What happens is that ideas for stories come, different memories. I think often we think, oh, I need to take time off work. I need to go away to Paris for a week and sit in a cafe and write. But really, if you write every day, let's say for 20 minutes, by the end of the year, you've got a novel at least. Another thing I do, if I'm working on something already, let's say I have some text and I'm working on a story, but suddenly I feel like I'm stuck and I feel like I've got nothing to say, or I'm not interesting myself, or I don't have faith in what I'm doing, is actually just to put that all on the page and see what happens. Yeah, let's do that. So that's just a couple of minutes of just getting stuff out of your head, and I think that's one of the most important things when you're writing. I think especially when you feel blocked or you feel like, oh, this isn't interesting, shut up, you're talking too much, you're writing too much, nobody's going to be interested. And I think often what happens if you put it on the page and you just get it out there is that it frees up your imagination for other things, and you never know what's going to appear. And the thing is, if you're kind of letting that fear or that idea that, oh, I have writer's block, or I don't know what to say, or nobody's interested, is it becomes so big that nothing gets onto the page. And you have to be open to the surprises that happen when you just get the pen or the pencil moving on the page. So the last thing I'd like to show you is kind of the opposite of what we've just been doing. What I'm going to do is just write the opposite and just see what happens. I can actually refer to what I've written and just write the opposite of almost every line and just see what comes up. So what happens, I think what happens when you do this exercise, or what happened for me when I do the exercise, it almost feels like you're writing fiction and telling yourself how amazing you are and everybody wants to hear your stories, and just keep writing. You haven't written enough, you just have to keep writing and creating stories. And again, what happens, I go into a kind of fictional place and just all these kind of fictional ideas start appearing. And it's all from just playing on the page. And I think one of the important things to do when you're writing is to remember that you're there primarily to entertain yourself, to have a good time, to enjoy what's happening on the page, and to just make up stories. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in learning more about writing and creativity, don't forget to subscribe to Domestika, where you can find out more about my online course. So Relsby and Fetengana are like my Spanish teachers.